Hello everybody, it's the Gaming Wizard here once again with part 15 of the Let's Play on Super Mario 64. So to all my trapezoids out there, we're trying to get this all finished up. Hopefully today we'll get these all recorded and out to you. Now episode 15 is going to be a longer one because I'm actually going for a time frame that's a little bit more than motherfucking whore. Anyway, had to take a bit of a drink real quick. I'm going for something that's a little bit more like an hour and the world is fucking up. So I figured I would do this for a lot longer, okay, and get these all done and over with by the end of the day and put them online for you. So that way you can just watch the Let's Play and all that type of stuff. And we'd all be hunky-dory. How's that sound? Okay, so right now what it looks like I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go through Rainbow Cruise. I think by the way it is this was my earlier attempt at trying to do Rainbow Cruise and unsuccessfully getting nowhere, basically. Like, I have to really get in the mood for like things like TikTok Clock and Rainbow Cruise in order to beat them, because if I'm not in the mood for them, then I definitely, for the love of God, will not do them. And or have a good performance for them, because by all accounts, they are the worst levels in this entire game. And I mean that literally. They are the most, what's the word I'm looking for? The most intense, I guess is a better way of putting it. The most intense levels in the game, because there is so much precision jumping, so much stuff that you gotta do in order to successfully, well, get where you gotta go. And what the hell, man? See, this is why I hate Rainbow Cruise, because if you don't do things successfully, then you end up like what I just had happen to me right there, you know? And I am the first person to admit that I hate this level. But it's one of the ones that, even despite all my hatred towards this level, I actually was able to get all the stars in this level. In comparison to, say, TikTok Clock, which in my actual playthrough that I was doing before this, I had not. So, Rainbow Cruise is probably probably one of my favorites to look at visually, but it's not my favorites to play. But I like it more than TikTok Clock. At the bottom goes TikTok Clock at number 1, Rainbow Cruise at number 2, number 3 would be Wet Dry Land, number 4 would be Lethal Lava Land, and number 5 would have to be Tall Mountain, I think would be how I would place them, because I cannot stand I can't stand Tall Mountain. And in this episode, it looks like we're trying to get the rest of the stuff. This is one of the last ones I had done before I even got to a place where I was actually finishing up everything. I had just finished up Wet Dry Land and Snowman's Head, but I didn't get a chance to do what I wanted to do for the other levels, because I had tried with the camera not on to try to get some of the other stars in Tall Mountain and epically failed. You know, so these last few levels will be perpetrated in these last few parts, with the final part of this being a review of the game itself. So, and you know, I should have done this yesterday, but after work I wasn't feeling up to doing anything yesterday, so I was just kind of like, you know, and because I work, my job entails that I get up at 7 to get ready to go to work at 8, and I'm there from 8 to 5 in the afternoon. it doesn't sound too bad, and it really isn't too bad. My problem is the fact that I'm not an early bird, and I don't do well with mornings, so I have a tendency of getting ridiculously annoyed by, well, aside from this level, I'm just rewatching this, and I can already feel the anger that I had towards this coming off the screen. But, you know, I'm just not a morning person, usually, so it doesn't bug me with what I do as my job, but it's one of those things where it's like, you look at it, and you wish, well, this would be fine had I not really gotten up early. But I actually asked for the early shift because I don't want to do second shift anymore, and third shift is just, it's not for me. So, by all accounts, I would say that I'm actually perfectly fine with what I have to do right now. And, it doesn't bug me too much, because I actually enjoy my job. My job is one in the mental health field. I'm not going to give you the specifics on it because I'm, you know, confidentiality and all that type of stuff, but I work with mentally ill clients, or I guess, I don't want to say mentally ill, that seems rude, but that's what they are. They suffer from mental illnesses. But yeah, no, I enjoy my job. It's very rewarding. Dealing with what I gotta do, because every chance you get whenever you do something for them and you can see the change in them, that's a positive change, you feel a lot better about yourself, because you were able to actually help them out with something instead of just, you know, sitting there and, you know, watching them deteriorate. So, but enough about that, let's get back into Mario. I don't remember how to get this goddamn corn, and I think you gotta do that power run. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so, shit. I hate getting the coins. Not necessarily these ones, but the red coins as a whole, because they're placed throughout the level in such a weird way that makes it even more challenging than the level previous. And I get it, challenge is a good thing, but sometimes I feel, like I've said in a previous video, I feel like Miyamoto had, see what I mean? I think he had a vendetta against fucking gamers sometimes. Like, he secretly did not want to make video games and thought about turning Zelda whenever he first pitched the idea as a fucking board game. But, you know, his dedication to gaming obviously doesn't show that, but sometimes it makes you wonder with some of these levels. The worst Mario level that I've ever seen in my entire life was the pachinko thing in Super Mario Sunshine. I absolutely hated that because it was so precise and so ridiculous that it kind of reminded me of like the new age Wing Mario over the rainbow bullshit. A level that I have still to this day never been able to beat because I don't know the precise pattern of how to do it. And I wish somebody would give me the precise pattern how to do it, otherwise I am fucked. You know, and I hate that. I hate it because I don't want to end up having to do it, or at least attempt to do it, and then fucking it up. Because that is not my goal. The closest I've ever been to Wing Mario over the rainbow, and to get all 8 coins from that and actually get the star, is I got 5. I got lucky and I got 5 coins. That's it. And now, I guess I didn't finish up Wet Dryland either. So I guess we're going to finish up Wet Dryland and get through this godforsaken pisshole of a level. And while we're doing that, we'll just sit back, relax, and go straight into Tall Tall Mountain afterwards, I would assume. So, with that being said, let me ask you, my viewers, my trapezoids, how you've been. I know this whole situation's been pretty weird, but now that things are starting to calm down a little bit, it's good to see that things are opening up again, and it's good to see that there's a possibility that the world may go back to normal a lot easier than one would assume. And then comes the ability for me to get my own apartment. I know a lot of these videos is just me talking to you guys at this point now, not so much coming up with the gameplay and whatnot, but I feel like this would be best because, you know, at this point I have done the gameplay, and since my mic does not actually hook up, because I got a Snowball, one of those blue microphones. Mine's a black coloration called a Snowball. Well, as you can tell, it only hooks up to the actual laptop and not to my my screen recorder for my TV for this stuff. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to try to record my genuine reactions whenever I'm doing this. And instead, I have to freeball it and talk to you guys while you're watching the playthrough of this. And please tell me which one you think is better, if it's this or if it's the other way around. You know, if you prefer having my genuine reactions or if you just like hearing my thoughts and opinions on stuff while I'm doing this. Because, you know, Carl's going to be honest with you. I am not one to do it like this usually because I feel like it's a bit of a cop-out. But it does get me to get a lot more out, and it feels more engaging, I guess is a better way of it, because my genuine reactions, even though I would prefer doing that, my genuine reactions are always fuck, shit, cussing at a game, or throwing the controller, and, you know, that only gets you so far, unless you're like the angry video game nerd, and whatnot, but even then, they still add on to it, so it's ridiculous. And I don't know if I'm going to do any more Let's Plays after this, because at the end of this, I'm going to do a review of this, and I figured I would just go steadily on reviews of games from here forward, you know, and you'll get to see me in person at this point, and the reviews that I'll be giving for certain stuff, you know, and I feel like that would be a little bit better at some points than, like, you know, than just like the commonality of things being, oh well, this is just not right, you know, and whatnot. But yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll be glad to see your comments for this and try to change it up accordingly if you prefer something different. But oh shit, you gotta be fucking kidding. No, I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna have to double jump for that. Okay. I couldn't remember they all came back or not, because I've never once done that, ironically, where I've actually jumped off the block and ended up underneath one and then broke it. I've never done that. In the entirety of the years that I've played Mario, I've never once done that. It's kind of funny to think of, you know? And it's kind of funny to think that this is going to be, like, the end of this journey is going to come soon, tonight, with you and me for this. You know, and I don't know if this is well, I don't want to say the end of the journey, obviously, because the Let's Play is not, well, the Let's Play portion of it will be done tonight, but the actual end of Mario 64 doesn't come until the review, and it's going to take a lot of efforts to do that, you know, and I guess we'll just see how this goes, because I definitely want to do a review, but at the same time I'm trying to figure out how to do a review with the stuff that I gotta do, so I'm going to be working on a lot of other stuff to figure this out. And I know my friend Kyle, who you haven't met, well, no, you have, one time, he did, well, okay, he did and he didn't. Basically, he wrote it, he didn't show himself yet. He had Justin do it for him, which is why the horror review critic, the horror critic review of Night of the Demon seemed the way it is, because we didn't have the good equipment at this time, and Kyle was a little camera shot. I mean, he's a vampire, so give him a little credit where credit is due. He's trying to get out of that show. He actually did record for himself content that he wanted to do for himself, so that way he can actually show himself. So I guess we'll just see how this goes for him. It's a little bit hit or miss with him, but hopefully he'll be able to get some of that stuff out there too, you know. And to be fair, I'm more prone to wanting to show myself off too, because I've only shown myself off one time, and that was one of the earlier parts of the Let's Play where me and Toki Toki Panic were actually just well, it was a horrible editing. That's what it was. But what I was trying to accomplish was the episode soundtrack to my night terrors. It was trying to take the song Dire Dire Docks from this game and use it in a way that signifies whenever it plays, these are what's going on in my head, you know. And at the time, all we had was Windows Movie Maker. Ooh. And we couldn't do a drop effect to signify that that's what I was watching, was the horrific atrocities that play off in my head with the song being played. Now that we have that ability to do that now, we should be able to get it all straight up, straight away and all that type of stuff. So with that being said, it's time to get all of the coins. It looks like we did get all the coins for the star in this level, and now all we have to do is get one last star. I think it may be the invisible cap one, but I'm not for sure. Did we get the red coins one? I think we did. I mean, I'm pretty sure we did. I don't know. I don't remember what we did last. Did we? Please let me know if we did, because I haven't watched the other videos of the Let's Plays in a while, so I don't remember. But yeah, so a lot of things are going to change. We're going to see. Oh no, I think I know what it is. We got the invisible cap star, but we didn't get the actual red coins until this one. But we did finish Snowman's Land. I keep wanting to call it Snowman's Head, even though I know that's not it. So we did get all the anyway, we ended up getting all the stars for that one, and now we're gonna finish up with Dryland. Tall Town Mountain's gonna be finished up, and I think Tiny Huge Island is also gonna be finished. TikTok Clock would not be finished. We get maybe a couple stars from there. We get a couple stars from Rainbow Cruise, and we try to finish because we knew, and by we I mean predominantly me and the rest of us that were watching this unfold, knew that I was never going to be able to beat both. If I got lucky and beat Rainbow Cruise, that'd be something, but I still suffer from the ability to not being able to beat Stomp Thwomp, getting all the coins from the clock, and I haven't even been able to get the coins from TikTok Clock, and I haven't been able to beat Wing Mario over the Rainbow. So I knew I was probably not going to be able to beat those three things and get the 8 red coins from Bowser in the Dark World and beat him. I think what I did is I actually ended up ending it by trying to beat Bowser but didn't get a chance to beat him. Because either the footage ran out, or... Did that fucker just push me off? What an asshole. I should take his entire baby that he's made and shove him into a bag and drown them. I'm sorry, that was pretty vicious, even for me. See, I told you, I get very vicious when I get into a game. I'm not even playing it right now, I'm just rewatching the footage of me playing, and I'm already already intense. But I would just like to state for a fact that I didn't beat Bowser. I don't know if at the end of the review I'm gonna try again to beat Bowser or whatnot. I think what I'm gonna just do is just go with it and see what it is, and then if I ended up with beating up Bowser, then yeah, that would be the thing. But right now, our camera's a little dysfunctional. We have to go through it and clean it out and see all the stuff that could go wrong with it and see if we can fix it and whatnot. Because right now, it's a little dysfunct. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. You know? But hopefully, with the review that I could do, it won't take that much time, because it's just going to be a major summary of Mario as a whole and the impact that Mario 64 had, as well as the gameplay itself, what I like about the game, and go on from there. It's kind of like doing your own video essay, isn't it? You know? My god, I haven't done one of those in forever. That does make me have to write down stuff, though, so that I don't forget. I have a piece of paper here, and apparently the only thing that's written on it is that it says baloney. Justin is the one that goes around and likes to say Bologna, because if you look at it, baloney is spelled as B-O-L-O-G-N-A, also known as Bologna to him, because I get that it's not an American word or an English word at that, but I can see somewhat where he's coming from with that, because being pronounced as baloney, it just doesn't make sense. But hey, it's whatever, I guess. Anyway, I will write down the way I want to do the structure of that video before I forget. Alright. I almost lost the microphone. It fell off my lap almost. You know what? I think I'll just save that to the side for right now, because if I keep the mic on my lap again, it's gonna fall off. So, and it looks like I finally got all 8 red coins. So now, all I have to do is claim the star, and we're done with Wet Dry Land. It's been a journey, hasn't it? All this horrific place has to offer is a journey that I refuse to incorporate as loving. And I'm just glad that I can be done with it and never have to go back here again. You know? By the way, did you know that there was a game that came out a while ago? It's a hack. Well, not a hack, but a modified variation of this game where somebody's went in and switched up the levels a little bit, changed it around so much, and they ended up making it more well, I don't want to say distinct, but it's definitely more challenging, and it's called Super Mario 74. Have you ever heard of that? It's kind of a unique standpoint, because it's one of those things that you look at and go, oh, okay, so this is still a level, huh? Alright. But at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, whoever made this is sadistic. And what I mean by that is, if there is a playthrough online, it's a TAS, tool assisted, what was it, tool assisted script? Something like that. Basically it's a tool that assisted playthrough of the game. Sorry, I took a drink. And the guy who plays it, I don't remember his name. I think it was like Sonic something. I'd have to look it up again. And it's called Super Mario 74. And it's on YouTube still. I know it is. They haven't taken it down yet. And there's a part where the last two levels, which would be the ones replacing TikTok Clock and Rainbow Cruise, are called Luminium Sphere and Omnium Sphere or something like that. And in the last one, for Omnium Sphere, one of the stars is you have to jump from this platform that you start off of onto a tiny platform, like the one I just, like, even smaller than that. Anyway, and once you jump, which is a fucking far distance to jump, once you jump over there, it's okay. The one that I've watched is by a guy called this is both capitals, SPSM, which is not capital. The SM is not capital after the SP. 64 TAS. I think that's the one that I've watched. I'm not gonna put it on. I mean, if you hear a sound, it's not because fucking commercials. I'm not putting this on just to watch it. I'm putting it on to see if it is, but not right now. Anyway, and like I was saying, whenever you had to jump from this platform, it's a great distance jump. Like, it's one of those ones that is so easy to do that eventually it ends up getting to the point where you jump and you end up, what's the word I'm looking for? And you end up hitting this platform, okay? And it's a very thin platform, but if you hit it, and once you hit it, there will be the sounds that you get for like collecting those special item things where it's like 5 items you need to collect. Like in Wet Dry World, that there's the boxes that have the coins in them, and they have the numbers that pop up like 1, 2, 3. Once you hit that platform, it'll say 1, 2, 3, 4 in rapid succession because they're all there. And then at this point, it's the harder bit of the challenge, which is why the star is called Impossible Challenge. I know. And what you would do at that point is you would move yourself over, and there would be a hole next to this platform where you'd have to jump through. But in order to jump through it and actually make it, you'd have to bounce off the side that's closest to you on the wall, bounce off, and then you go and do wall jumps from wall to wall to wall over walls till you get to the star that's all the way in the back. And if you mess up, you're gonna fall to the abyss. And it's the hardest star in the entire level, in the entire ROM hack game too. And it's much more intense than anything ever placed in Super Mario 64. And I think the reason for that is because players on the era of 64 had to get a challenge. But the challenge that we had at the time were very challenging. And then somebody had the bright idea, because they were younger, to actually go out of the way to make it more challenging for an audience that wants more difficult challenges. And in other words, I can't say I blame them, but at the same time, it's like one of those things where it's like, guys, this is a little bit too much even for me, you know? But yeah, I saw the entire playthrough and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then I saw that star and I was like, I really want to fucking die. Because that is a star that makes us, like, as gamers, get pissed. Okay, so now I have all the stars from Wet Dry Land And now we're done. Now we will never have to go back here again. I've gotten all the stars here. It's time to move on to Tall Tall Mountain and start from there and get all those gone. That's the next half of the journey. That and Tiny Huge Island. Because I know this because I usually try to go in order. If you witness through the beginning of the playthrough, you will know that. But at the same time, if you haven't noticed it, be prepared to be shocked because you are going to notice them. So, I hope everything has been to your liking and you enjoyed every bit of this. Because I'm going to give it to you as best as I can. And I know I've been talking for a long time and whatnot, but you know, I did say I was going to make this to be 55 minutes worth of content so you can get the full effect of what I was doing. I actually went on a bender with these videos. They were back to back pretty much. Except for the first half of this one that ended with Rainbow Cruise is separate compared to these next 3 ones that were actually back to back. I think I don't even have the full extent of the ones that were back to back on top of it. Because if that was the case, I would have been losing my mind. But I'm not, and this is it. So this leads me to another conundrum, since this is part 15. And I've been talking a lot. What should I call this episode? A revision of the past? Something goofy? It wouldn't really matter what I called it. Hell, I'll just call it Flourbogot. And then maybe somebody would understand what I'm getting at. You know, because anyone that actually watched these videos, if you do watch them, I appreciate the watching, and I appreciate you actually going through the time to actually watch my videos, to actually deal with my content, and that mall just fucking killed me. What a prick. Mamma mia. But if you do watch these and you actually sit through the entire time, I'm grateful for that, honestly. Flourbogot. I can't spell. It's not like it's gonna be that easy to spell Flourbogot, basically. Because it's a made-up word. That's like me, and I've made up several words in my lifetime. Like, I actually got this word that I made up from my teacher in high school. He was an English teacher, and he wrote down something that would be a word, and it wasn't a real word. And I was like, but this looks like something that would be a real word. So I adopted that word, and it was pronounced as clockwe, or clockwell. C-L-O-C-Q-U-E-L-Y. No, E-L-L-Y. My bad. And I actually used that to a point where, and one of the videos that I've actually done, you will actually notice that I said the word. Now, the definition I had for it has changed, but I think the one that I have stuck with the longest, to actually give it a definition, is a word that would mean to be, it means dishonest, uncaring, is how I would put it. Someone who's dishonest and discaring is clockwork. And I know this because in one of my earlier videos, and it's up on the channel, the entire series is, I did a lot of videos with things called Go Animate and Extra Normal, or Extra Normal. And they were animating-based platform things that back in 2009, YouTube was actually promoting. Like, hey, why don't you utilize these to make animations for yourself? And I did. I utilized them to the fullest of accounts. If you watched my videos based on the animations that I've done, and okay, they're not even my animations. I put on them, they're called Dave's Animated Features. And what that means is our friend Dave Opamanu, who we call Folio, actually decided he was going to become an animator. And he tried a lot of drawings and all that type of stuff whenever he was in high school. And he liked it, so he wanted to become an animator. But the problem was, when he became an animator, he ended up not getting anywhere because the stuff that he wanted to do was, well, not fully finished. You know, he wasn't able to get his feet off the ground with that. So instead, he utilized, at the time, Extra Normal and Go Animate. And he was the reason for the features such as, like, Erotic Misconception, and the comics that he did in high school, which was Warning This Is Sort of Offensive to Jews and Germans, was a comic book thing that he did intentionally just to get us and people to riled up. And then he also did one called The Robots, which he had created like during the times of that on YouTube, and it was the one that he did the most with because he had the most time, because he started doing stuff with Go Animate, but he said there was some kind of glitch with it. And glitch with it. That's the word I was looking for. Which caused him to only be able to do at least 3 to 4 of them before they said, well, oh, you can't do this anymore. No, it was like 8 of them that he could do, and it was unable to finish up. And then for a while it came back, and he was able to do more. But he wasn't able to do a lot with them after that point, so he had to do Extra Normal. And he did the robots-based ones, so he took a lot of them and worked with them. And on the show, he had characters like Sammy, who was a loudmouth, foul-talking robot who didn't give a shit what he said or did. He liked to piss people off. He liked to get under people's skins, especially his best friends. Then there was Carly, the bartender, who was a friend of his, didn't cuss, was very nice, was very genuine and all that type of stuff. Liked to keep the peace and whatnot. Then you had his friend, I can't remember the friend's name right now, but it was kind of like he was like the Squidward of the group, always got injured by Sammy, always got hurt, and whatnot. Then you had a pimp who named Calculator, who pimped out one of the guys they were hanging out with, whose name eludes me. And he was pimping out this guy who was a prisoner who got himself out of prison, only to go back into prison, and he was fed cocked meat sandwiches by the road. It was a weird situation. And then there was a doctor called Dr. Screwloose who nobody understood, but he was a sick, twisted guy and all that type of stuff. It was kind of weird. There was all sorts of different stuff going on with that. And the kicker was, there was there was a line by Sammy's friend Robbie, I think was his name, and he was shot and was trying to make jokes with Sammy, and Sammy just kept making fun of him, and he got shot at one point, and he's like, "Fuck you, Clockley, bitch." And I was like, oh, he used the word that I created. And at that point, that's where the word actually began meaning dishonest and unsavory, basically, are the words that would align with the word Clockley. So that's where that came from, and all that type of stuff. And it was weird to say the least, but it was one of those things that I enjoyed watching, and I'm hoping a lot of people did too, because the complete series is up there on YouTube now on our channel. Because me and Dave and Kyle and Justin, everybody else shares the channel. You've met people like us. You've met Tanner now, after he got into a fight with the Invisible Man. You know. But you are bound to see a bunch of others. There's at least 200 of us that actually run this channel. And you'll be seeing a lot more of us as the years progress. And now that we have better equipment, we'll be able to do a lot more with what is happening. So, you know, bear with us, and we'll get it to you as best as we can. Okay? But enough about us bragging about what's going on the channel or what has happened with the channel. It's time that we do this. I'm too high. What did I hit? I'm flying through the sky. I couldn't have hit anything. What was that? How did I hit any... Was that like an invisible wall? Did like Mr. Mime take the freaking wall and use it to his benefit? Like, what the fuck? That doesn't make sense. I keep forgetting that sometimes whenever you do stuff like that, if you hit the edge, and by edge I use it in quotations, the edge of the map, there's a wall there. You know, and this is essential to all 64-based games, you know? Every single time you did a game like that, there was always those walls, you know. And I was going to say Mario get moving. I keep forgetting if I had any lull periods during this time or not. And if I did, well, I probably should not keep them in, you know. But I guess we'll see how this goes on the whole, because I'm freeballing it right now, and I'm just trying to get them out to people. So, what I would say is, at this point, everything is working out to the best of our abilities, and this will be the last part that I'm working on for this, or last section that I'm doing for this part. I don't know if I'll be able to get through Tall Tall Mountain for this one, but I'm gonna try. Oh, finally, I've been able. For a while, if you noticed, for those of you who have actually sat down and watched these Let's Play videos, I have had a difficulty trying to get the fucking red coins from this level. You know, and this was the first time I didn't get 3 of them and accidentally jump myself off the mushroom to get the other one. You know, I was able to get these ones up here all the time. Never had a problem with getting these ones. Because they're easy. But I always had a tendency of getting these ones easier than the ones on the mushrooms, because the mushrooms are hard as shit to get. And I know that sounds weird, but hear me out. The mushrooms have a rounded surface to them, and they can be a pain in the ass to actually get to. You see? Ooh, I almost fell off, and I just felt tense doing it, just watching that. You know, I felt tense doing it probably. My sphincter probably was tight, but I felt tighter watching that too. Oh god, just watching this stuff makes me scared. And I know that sounds weird, but hear me out. When you get into a playing game, and you get really into it, you know it's not real life. You know it's not going to be a life or death situation, but you end up getting into it so much so that if you make the wrong step, your body tenses up on you to the point where you're like, the world is ending, you know, and you can't fuck up because you are dying along with it. That's what it seems to me. And you can ask any gamer about that. I'm sure they tell you the same thing. It's like a life or death situation. You know, and it's an intense thrill ride in the same breath, because it is so extreme. Just trying to get what it is that you need to do done. And like right here, if I fuck up, there is no safety net. I'm going to get kicked out and I have to restart from scratch. And that's the main problem that gamers have. If you're in a scenario like this where something that you're trying to get is hard as shit to get, you're going to get to a point where, oh thank God, you're going to get to a point where it's like, it is life or death. Because if you make one mistake, then you're going to have to restart the level. And no one wants to restart a level just to get one little itty bitty tiny thing when you've gotten so close and so far. And that's what it means to do this kind of shit. Because, like, I couldn't remember what the other star was, which is why I was trying to move over to the number 5 spot. So, I can't remember. I think it has, oh, it's the star hidden by the waterfall. That's what it was. So, at this point, I think I'm trying to get this. I think I was going for the slide in this one. Yeah, little known fact, if you're new to Super Mario 64, or this is the first time you've watched this, and it's been a while since you played it, don't forget, one of the stars in this, if you're not looking well enough, you'll never be able to find it. There is a slide in this level. For those of you who have never played it, or for those of you who have forgot about this game, which shouldn't be any of you, because if you've played this game, you should know, unless you haven't gotten this far. But here's the deal. For those of you who don't, little kids, if you're watching, pardon my language, whatnot, I'm sure you've heard worse, but still. If you're watching this, remember, I am doing this for entertainment's sake. And that's about it. But here's the deal. Back on topic. If you're watching this, there is a secret slide. And it's right here. That's right. The slide is right there. It's easy to miss because it's blended in right so well with the actuality of the side of the mountain. But in order to get one of the stars, you have to do this slide. Just like on Cool Cool Mountain, and just like the Princess slide. Kind of funny to think that there's at least 3 slides in the entirety of I Just Hit the Death. Woo! Did you know there was an extra star made in the level of Cool Cool Mountain? Yeah, it's also in the slide. You don't have to fight the penguin or actually make it past the slide to get it. No, what you'd have to do is jump off the slide. In the data mines, people have found that there was an extra star that was supposed to be there. We don't know what it's for, but there is an extra star. Can you get it? No. But it is unique, to say the least, that there was an extra star there. And one can say that it would actually be something that would be well worth the price of admission, is if to see if you could get it. And I think there was a YouTuber online that actually tried to get it, but it was unsuccessful. Because in order to get it, you'd have to actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Not necessarily fuck up everything. Oh, that was close. Not necessarily fuck up everything, but like, you know, you wouldn't be able to get it, is basically what I'm telling you.
Here we go!
Because every time you miss it, you're gonna die and have to restart. Or every time you do get it, it will never register, so what's the fucking point? You know, and a lot of people that have beaten the game also forget that Yoshi's in the game too.
Let's go!
That's right, Yoshi's in the game. He's on top of the castle, but he's in the game. In order to see Yoshi, you'd have to open up the cannon that's outside of the castle. And you'd have to get in there, and you'd have to shoot all the way up to the top of the castle. But how do you open up that, cannon? Simple. You gotta get all 120 stars in the entirety of the game. And I haven't even gotten all of them. I've gotten every single one of them except for 3. And it sucks because it makes me want to fucking die. I really desperately wanted each and every single one of those stars. And and the sad part is, the TikTok clock one with 100 coin stars shouldn't be that bad. It probably isn't that bad. I'm just terrified to do that one and then having to get a star and then having to go back in and then fuck up and not get stomped with the womp. Because that's the only one that's really causing too much grief. Not even Wing Mario, because I refuse to actually make myself through that torture right now. Maybe someday I'll be able to get to a point where I can actually do it effectively and get all 120 stars, and I can actually save that journey in my life and state that I have done it. But right now, I'm comfortable with not giving a shit enough about it. Because once this is all over, I'm not gonna fucking touch Mario again. Well, not this Mario. Until I'm good and ready to actually attempt it one more time. That was a mouthful. And we're getting close to the ending of this episode. I do apologize for the amount of phlegm and the amount of packing I've been doing. The changing of the weather has been astronomical here in my city with everything that's going on. You know, it doesn't know whether it wants to still be spring, whether it wants to rain, whether it wants to stay cold. It doesn't know. And this is the first day out of 2 days that have been extremely hot with no rain or any additives going into it. So it's a unique thing to say the least, and I'm kind of glad, but I still have to deal with a lot of the guff of what's going on because I'm still dealing with allergies regardless of what's happening, and I'm just trying to make it worth my while. Make it last and make it work. And I don't know what to say anymore at this point. I think right now, because I'm going for the coins, I guess we'll just see. Because I gotta make it all the way over and possibly... And I'm sorry, I just kind of watched them so... I just wanted to see if I would actually make it. There's no way I'm getting that goddamn star. I'm sorry. Coin. Jesus Christ. Oh, nope, I guess it's still... Okay. So now all I gotta do is just make it back over there, and oh, that was close. So, is it almost over? Yeah, it's getting close. I don't know if part 16 may start with me actually getting the star and getting all the coins. I doubt it, but it might. You never know. Would you like to know? I'd like to know. But we'll just have to wait and see, because if I don't get all the coins right now, by the end of this, then, you know, we're just gonna have to wait and see in part 16. The journey is coming to an end, and it's been a ride. And I do appreciate everybody actually sticking it out and actually sitting here and watching this with me. And listening to my horrible commentary with my friend Snow in one episode, and my and Toki Panic, my brother, and others, and just me freeballing it with just rewatching the stuff that I put through. I do appreciate this, and hopefully, despite what's going on, you still enjoy what is happening, you still get to watch what's going on, and whatnot. So, with that being said, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next part. Goodbye.